that we need after people to walk with us and power to sustain us are promises to assure us. You notice in the passage that Jonathan comes in with both guns blazing. I mean, it's like Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp. And Jonathan says, I'm your Huckleberry. Don't be afraid is the first thing he says. Then he says, Saul will not lay a hand on you. Then he says, you will be king. And then, just to seal the deal, he says, and I will be second to you. You see, men are competitive. Can I get an amen from the ladies? Okay, men are competitive. And so Jonathan just goes, hey, guess what? I'm going to take that whole competition thing out of there because I want to connect with you. And I want to let you know that I see it. I see you. You're going forward. I'm not, and I'm okay with it. But don't be afraid. My dad is not going to lay a hand on you. You're going to be king. Man, and can you imagine, man, the monkey going right off David's back, right at that moment? You see, Jonathan recalibrates David's emotional state. And this is really important when you're in a storm, because I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm really in the thick of it, my emotions hijack my life. And if I begin to think long and hard on what my emotions are telling me, I get to this place emotionally where I think that my circumstance is fatal and final. I don't know about you, but I feel like that sometimes. And so what Jonathan does is he comes into the situation and he assures David with some promises, and it kind of recalibrates his emotion. It kind of redirects his life, kind of like a plane. Maybe he got hijacked by the circumstance, but you know what? Here comes the rescue team, and it's gained control of the plane again, and now he's bringing David in for a landing in reality versus the scenario built by his emotions. It's very important. When someone comes to make a promise to you, when you're hungry for reassurance, there still is another step. You ask, okay, who is it that's making the promise? And second, are they capable of delivering on the promise? And then, your confidence meter might go from here maybe to here. Just like I look at some of the guys, in the audience, I recognize them from the herd, and if I was going into a situation of danger and I needed some protection, I could pick out some of you, and based on, your physical appearance and what I know about you, I could be reasonably assured that going into the situation that I'd be protected. My confidence meter, might be here. But, say, for example, I went to, UFC fighter like Tito Ortiz, my confidence meter in what I know about this guy and his capability kind of makes not that I don't trust you, but, it would be just go over on this side, right? And see, God tells us the very same thing. There's a wonderful passage in 2 Peter chapter 1. It's not on your outline. I want you to look on the screen. But it talks about God's ability and God's character, you participating in who he is to find the power that you need. It says this, his divine power has given us everything. Circle that. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't have it on your outline. Can't circle the screen. His divine power has given us everything we need for life and godliness through our knowledge of him. See the connection? Our knowledge of him who called us by his own glory and goodness. Through these, he has given us his very great and precious promises. Right, so he's made us a promise so that through them, the promises, you may participate in the divine nature and escape the corruption of the world. Hey, there's our solution. God's looking at us this morning and he's saying, hey, I know you're in a storm because it's called life and it might be small or big, but I'm here. And you have promises from me, and I have my character and who I am. You can participate in me, in your storm, by engaging my very great and precious promises.